Great, 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 great. So who else is sharing what compliance means to them? What does compliance mean to you? Temitope says adherence to rules and regulations and policies. That's very brilliant as well. Who else is sharing? What does compliance mean to you? Meeting and upholding standard practices. Great. You guys have been beautiful and fantastic so far. So just as you have said, you've all said, compliance is essential. Doing things legally, simply put, do it the right way, do it legally, do it however way. Just make sure it's legal, following statutory, company policies or whoever is defining, whoever the regulator is at that point. So I love that. From a fintech perspective, compliance simply means standards and ethical practices that governs its operations. I love that. From who is sharing from health and care perspective? Because I think I saw some support workers meeting the standards set by the governing body or industry authority. Beautiful. So compliance, is very essential across different organizations, for government, for companies, for societies. Compliance is very important. It ensures that they operate within the bounds of the law, they adhere to regulations and meet ethical and industry standards. It's also multifaceted. Compliance is not one thing. You could be a compliance officer in one role, in one company, under another industry, where what you are ensuring compliance to is completely different from another organization. So two compliance officers might necessarily not be doing exactly the same thing, right? So it's multifaceted, but it's the general concept is that it ensures that people follow whatever rules and regulations that has been set. So everything you guys have said, all correct. So now in this area, what does compliance entail? It entails a wide array of rules, regulations, and ethical standards. Is a fundamental aspect of conducting operations, within the UK and ensure that activities are conducted legally, ethically, and responsibly. Because beyond even the legal part, there's also the ethics, which is why I love the fact that, someone mentioned ethics as well. Even responsibly, there's even like from the use of AI, there's responsible use of AI. Use AI responsibly, ethically, and legally. Don't go and use AI to ask, how do you kill people? How do you do this? So it covers areas, but for the sake of our session today, we'll be covering financial regulations, data protection, AML, and GDPR. Right. And what are the essentials if you want to transition or if you want to consider a career in compliance? So the first skill you must have is analytical skills. You have to have the ability to analyze and identify risks associated, with non-compliance and implement measures to mitigate them. So for some of you's industry, risk associated with non-compliance could be fine as high as £500,000, £5 million. We see different news every day about this financial institution being fined for, and KYC or for anti-money laundering and all of that. And sometimes it could even be loss of job for the person. Like it could even be being fined or being jailed. If the directors and owners of companies could be jailed, right? Which is why our role as compliance analysts, compliance professional is very important because we are playing a very key role. We are saving the company from future litigations. We're saving vulnerable people from being abused. So vulnerable people could be people who have their cash in the systems or their money in the financial systems. It could even be care users or care owners. It could be care users or your, what do they call it in the care industry? Your service users, right? Because there's compliance in that area as well. So analytical skills is very important. Problem solving, developing effective solutions to address compliance challenges. Communication, regardless of the role you want to get into, communication skills are very important. So being able to listen actively, being able to present, being able to write very good emails to your clients, to your customers, to your managers, to your directors, very important. Being able to present articulately, being able to talk to your fellow stakeholders and even external stakeholders. So all of these communication skills are very essential if you want to go into the compliance space. Right. Also, impact analysis. A new regulation is out. How does this impact us? What is this complex regulation? How do we interpret it? Very important. Ethical judgment and integrity. If you want to go into the compliance space, you must have integrity and you must have good ethical judgments. So that you can ensure that your organization operates within those guidelines and maintain a culture of integrity. Confidentiality as well, based on the fact that you are going into the compliance space, you're going to have access to information that ordinarily should not be accessible to external bodies. So confidential information, and you must have that attribute or that skill to be able to keep sensitive information confidential. If not, you'll be guilty of insider trading or whispering or what do they call it? You know. Yeah, so you have to have the confidentiality skill. What are the other skills needed in this compliance space? You have to have very good risk assessment skills to be able to know, is this a high risk customer or a low risk? Sometimes there are frameworks to follow to determine what is low risk, who is high risk, you know. Right. So, and what would, give the company more fine, less fine, what's material, what's non-material, documentation and record keeping. In this compliance space as well, being able to document is very important because guess what? You can't say, I got all this data from the clients, or the customer showed me in my eye that they have an ID card, but on their file, there's no ID card. On their file, we don't even know their address. We can't find them because you didn't collect any evidence of their address. We don't know how to find them. And now they are in trouble, or they've put the company in trouble, and there's no way we can trace them. So that's just to give an example of the financial institution and, record KYC part of things. So you have to document, even in the workplace as a whole. Make sure you have that documentation mindset. Even when you have conversations with people, they give you overrides or approvals verbally. Try to find a way to turn that to a documented, record. If not, when the push comes to shove, you're likely to be thrown under the bus. So we must actually work smart, and be very good with documentation and record keeping. GDPR as well. Understanding the GDPR Act for EU, for UK, for all the jurisdiction that you are in. Understand what is acceptable by the law or not. Data protection, continuous improvements. In compliance space, especially, there's always a new regulation. There's always a new policy. Like I can bet those that work within the is it immigration now? I'm sure in the last two months it's been, trying to read documents, understand documents, read documents. But that's how it is. You have to have that reading mindset because there's always something new. And beyond even what is going on, intellectually as well, on the job, competency based, you need to actually continue to develop yourself. You need to understand financial sanctions, strategic thinking. You need to understand KYC, AML, and you need to understand your own industry knowledge. You need to have industry knowledge because you are likely to work across industry. So we have people who were formerly, they have law background and they attended our compliance bootcamp and were able to get a compliance analyst role within the legal industry. You need to understand how it works. And so if you happen to not be from that industry, and even if you happen to be from another jurisdiction, you need to understand based on the UK, what obtains here. And you need to master your craft really. So these are the potential career paths you can explore from in the compliance space, but not limited to this, from KYC analyst, compliance analyst, risk manager, financial crime, sanctions, AML, data protection specialist. Right. So not everyone, on their first job will probably get a job within this salary, but at least you know that you're in a career path that you're not at the peak. Because there's some career paths that the first job you get will probably be like 20K, and that's the highest level of salary for that role. Say for instance, for a reception, how much possibly can you earn a 60K salary as a receptionist if you work in a reception? Right? So you need to position yourself in career paths that gives you opportunity to grow and gives you opportunity to have career progression. So before we get into that, I am just to throw a question to warm up the room again. What were you looking to gain from this session today? What were you looking to gain from this session? Why did you join this session today? So let's drop the responses for that in the chat box before we move to the next segment of today's session. So let's see what the responses What were you looking to gain in this session? You guys still with me? Oh, beautiful. The requirements needed to get started. I love that. Beautiful. To gain more knowledge on compliance, beautiful. How to start, beautiful. To get into any role in the FCC industry, to gain knowledge about the compliance role, beautiful. Beautiful, right? So let's get right on into it. Really, looks like we are all aligned, right? So why should you pursue a career in compliance? So there are so many reasons to explore, compliance. Right. So Elisa says, I intend to understand more about the UK compliance space, understand more at the end of the day, proceed in my compliance path. I joined this masterclass as part of a strategic career transition. This says to upskill and move out of my comfort zone and for my career growth. Beautiful. So there's a high demand in the compliance space. Regulatory landscape is complex and constantly evolving. Businesses and organizations require compliance professionals to help them navigate and adhere to these regulations for career stability as well. Compliance is an essential function in various industries, ensuring that the legality and ethical conduct, of businesses is, guaranteed or assured. This makes compliance rules relatively stable even during economic downturns. So compliance offers, a very good career opportunity. You can start from a KYC analyst or AML analyst today. Tomorrow you're an AML manager. Next tomorrow you are a chief risk officer or MLRO and all of that. So there's a great opportunity for you to grow in that career path. And there's high demand for it. New fintechs, new payment systems are starting in the finance space, even in the legal space, and compliance professionals are needed to work with these companies as well. So diverse career opportunities. The compliance field offers a wide range of career opportunities in various sectors, including the finance, healthcare, environmental, data protection, sustainability, carbon, and so on and so forth. Global relevance as well across is one of those roles that across countries, across jurisdiction, right? There's a role called KYC analyst. There's a role called AML analyst. It might not be called exactly that name, but there's a role, there's a role and a gap for that, function, right? And even if things are done automatically, because if you look at the Monzo, Revolut, and all these smart free payments companies, you will notice that you can open an account in 1 minute, right? But despite that, do you see how many adverts they put out there for investigations, what they call transaction investigators, compliance officers? So even technology and automation is not going to take some roles away because there's still that need for you. I don't know how many of you have noticed. I recently I noticed that if you put some things into ChatGPT comes back with error, I don't know if anybody has noticed that ChatGPT used to have typos. So you can't really rely on AI. Somebody still needs to do the review and all of that. So that's just for me to quickly chip in the fact that technology and AI is not going to take away our jobs, right? Completely. However, what's going to take away our jobs is us not upskilling, not learning something new, not also following the AI trend. I was in an event or a session about 3 days ago, and they were saying that as we are right now is a place of advantage we really are because there are no AI natives. And when we say AI natives, the person make comparison to the fact that, say for instance, maybe 20 years ago, most of us 20, 30, 40 years ago, people were not born with the ability to use tablets. They didn't even get access to using phones, tablets. at that early age. We all were already adults, or most of us were adults before the invention of phone and all of these things came about. That's the mobile phone, you know, down to like moving from the I don't know. Do we want to mention what was the first phone? Let me even see. Let me gauge the audience. What was the first phone you ever used? What was the first phone you ever used? I'll be surprised if there's anybody here whose first phone is an iPhone or like, an iPhone 16. What was the first phone you ever used? Sony Ericsson, beautiful. That's Vasavi from, yeah, I'm sure that, where was that? India, right? You might also want to put the location. Beautiful. So somebody says Nokia N70. Beautiful. Visa phone. Beautiful. Nokia. Multilinks. Motorola. Which one is multilinks? Is that a phone? Sajem. God. Oh my God. And now look at the phones that our kids, look at the first phone. Some of them get iPhone 17. I'm sorry, 16. They get the latest phones, as their first phone. Before you know it, now a 3 months old can swipe a tab. How many of us did even knew what a tab was as when we were born? Siemens, God. I can't remember my own first phone. It must have been a Nokia as well. Those not, but did we all not learn how to use a smartphone? Did we all not learn how to swipe? That is the era we are in now. So imagine someone at that time when, those smartphones came saying, it's going to go very soon. I'm going to stay with my is it what they call those ones? Analog, yeah? Those ones that when you are pressing, you be hearing the sound. Before you press 2, you have to press A, B, C, D, 2. I'll be A, B, C, 2. But imagine someone saying, it's not going to stay. Well, where would they be right now today? They would have been left behind. So my own personal advice to all of us here today, regardless, of your career path, try to stay up to date with what's happening with AI, because it's not going anywhere. It's just like we're in another era of disruption. We're in a great time right now. We're witnessing another great, you know, disruption. And one good thing about RKY careers is that as part of RKY careers, we do this work for you. Like, for instance, about 400 of our alumni were trained for free to get a certification in artificial intelligence, right? And just that you get free bonus certification courses that are relevant. And we intend to bring this back again, probably for the new set of, alumni that are joining, maybe towards the end of the year. Although we do have quarterly free bonus certifications, but it might not be AI all the time, so that we can do something new. It was AI in first quarter, and then everybody got free cybersecurity. Guess what we are doing for people in RKY is that we are ensuring that you not only learn from us, that advantage that you need to take to the table. And this session I said I attended about 3 days ago, it was from an employer perspective. There was like a big, there were big HR people from very top organizations. They're saying how they also perceive, if you don't see AI on people's certification, if you don't see AI on people's CV, then it means that probably, they are not in tune with what's going on in the world. So don't ever feel that AI is coming for your job. And the good thing is that if you have that learning mindset, that upskilling mindset, which is what I tell people, that always upskill. Don't be that redundant that you're now saying, when last did I enter school? When last did I go to school? That's because even if your current role is going redundant, guess what? You're already ready for the next role too, because you've been upskilling. You are ready for what's next, because what's next is not going to be too far from where you are to, if you are not behind. So right now, if they release iPhone 17 and they say iPhone 17 can do, are we not closer to, because we've used 16, right? We are closer to being able to adapt to any kind of phone because we are using, what's trending. But imagine you going from using Sajem, Siemens, like you guys said, and then they're handling you an iPhone 17. What will it look like? Of course, you won't be able to, you even understand it. You just have to picture your grandparents trying to navigate, a smartphone now. That's exactly what it would look like, which is why I would tell people, instead of you saying you're scared that AI is coming to take your job, keep upskilling, keep upskilling, keep upskilling. Right. Let's leave that and continue I hope that's been beneficial to someone, and I hope someone found that interesting. So competitive compensation as well. Compliance professionals are often well compensated due to the critical nature of their roles and the specialized knowledge. Compliance professionals can progress into leadership roles, shaping the compliance culture and organizations and helping organizations make strategic decisions. Also, global regulatory trends. The UK often align its regulations with international standards. This means that professionals in the UK compliance field can be well prepared to work internationally. So if you are a UK professional, if you go to any other country, the level of standards that they feel that you're coming with, right, is very high, because most of these countries, they simulate their policies. Let's look at this, because I've been making a lot of inferences. Let's look at what's been happening in the world in the last few weeks. One country sneezes, what happens to the rest? Who knows what happens to the rest when one company sneezes? One country sneezes, especially powerful ones. Hello, are we still together?
Yes, we are.
So what happened when we've seen some country recently sneeze and we found others? What did others do? They caught cold now. You know, one country sneezes, others are catching cold. One company releases the policy before you know it. I don't want to be specific, but you guys know what I mean. Others are following suits. Oh, someone even said it's not even cold they are catching. Others are catching pneumonia. I love that. I love that sense of humor. So the good thing is that we are based in the UK. So whatever it is, we have whatever certification we hold, that is a UK certification, has relevance across the world. Now, let's talk about the RKY Careers Compliance Bootcamp. So, in our bootcamp, we provide a comprehensive training aimed at equipping professionals with skills that are relevant for the current world, for the current job markets. Our approach is also very practical. So we don't just train you to learn theory. And then when you get it, they ask you, tell us about cases you can do. What cases have you done before? And then, one of our students resumed a role, in this compliance space. And after she shared her success stories and everything, she came back again and said, okay, I need to come and specially thank you, because during my onboarding process, everything they were telling me was just what, our facilitator had said in the class. It was not like I was in another part two of the core boot camp. I was so familiar with everything. And this is someone as well that's coming from Nigeria, right? Got a first job in the UK, and she was familiar with everything. Nothing was strange to her. Everything they said she would be doing were things she did in the boot camp. That's the impact we want to make, because I personally can relate to moving to a new country. Even if your job title remain the same, you can't assume that you're 100% are where you are, which is why upskilling and staying up to date. Don't assume it. That's the first thing you can do to yourself. Assuming you're up there, you cannot. Everybody is still learning. You have to keep learning. Nobody is up there, right? And now let's talk about the RQY Bootcamp. So here are some success stories and positive feedbacks that we have on our third-party platforms, on Trustpilot, which we are all familiar with, and Google Review, right? We have 5-star, and you can see RQY. My wife shared RQY careers link with me, and I can see that I had no regrets. The learning experience was great. The CEO, Rukayat Alabi, the tutor, Lumi, and the team are one of the best times I have ever worked with. Another person, Irene, says RKY careers, no regrets whatsoever. Choosing them is the best place to learn. AB says exceptional training that kick-started my compliance career. I can't thank RKY careers enough for their outstanding compliance course, which played a pivotal role in landing my first role in compliance. The course was incredibly structured, with comprehensive content that bridged theoretical knowledge and practical application seamlessly. The instructor was knowledgeable, approachable, and always willing to go the extra mile to ensure we fully understood the material. The skills and insights, the skills and insights I gained from the course not only boosted my confidence, but also gave me a competitive edge in securing my position. RKY didn't just provide training, they provided a stepping stone to my professional success. So if you're looking to break into compliance or enhance your skills, I highly recommend RKY Careers courses. It was truly a game changer for me. And that's from Ibibote. We've got Anisha Banumula says, my experience with RQI careers has been exceptional. The expertise and personalized support in education, job search, and interview preparation were invaluable. They provided clear and insightful guidance that made the entire process smooth and effective. Thanks to their dedication, I gained confidence I needed, and I was able to secure the right opportunity, and so on and so forth. On Google as well, On Google. Okay, Emmanuel also says, extremely remarkable experience I had during my bootcamp. The study materials were top notch. Needless to say, the facilitators were very knowledgeable, and the level of learning gotten during the bootcamp helped me to land a job just 6 weeks after completion. RQI careers, they are the best plug I would recommend to anyone that desires a change or progression in their career. So that's from Emmanuel. Rashidat also said, I had an amazing experience with RQI Careers. The team is professional, knowledgeable, and genuinely invested in helping job seekers succeed. They provided me with expert career guidance, a well-structured CV, and invaluable interview tips that boosted my confidence thanks to their support. All right, so and so on and so forth. You can go there yourself to read out our, because it's third party rights, and their full names are there. So it's real people, real success stories. Bootcamp perks. Also, you can, if you visit our Instagram page, you see loads of success stories day on, day on. So bootcamp perks. So what do you get when we say bootcamp? What do we really even mean? So the first thing you get is the virtual live training, giving you opportunity to join from anywhere in the world, whether you're in Lagos, Amsterdam, Germany, Finland, Ireland, anywhere you are, Scotland, England, you can join virtually. You also get to work on real cases to give you practical work experience. So when they ask you, you are able to answer. You get interview preparation. Even after the boot camp is over, you get bi-weekly interview prep sessions where you can come in with your JD and get support for your upcoming interview. Quizzes and competency tests, practical case studies, UK reference for the projects you work on during the bootcamp, certificate of completion accredited in the UK, in the US, and also we are listed on the UK government's website as a training provider. So this isn't just a side hustle. So many people now are trying to monetize their skills and starting up all sorts, but this isn't just any training provider. This isn't just, a side hustle that today we are running this, tomorrow. We've been doing this for over 3 years now. And we've had so many success stories, which is what makes us different, right? You also get access to learning management system, right? Which is our e-learning platform that give you opportunity to catch up on whatever you've missed in class, and you have access to this for up to 2 months. We have so many people that always go back to the learning management system when they've now landed a job and are still able to get relevant things to help them. Post bootcamp alumni support. Every month end, we bring different professional experts or leader in to come and show us different areas that are important to us. It could be global talents beneficiary, how to get global talents. It could be how to get job in NHS, how to get jobs in civil service, how to get visa sponsorship jobs. It could be immigration consultants we are bringing to help us know how to get innovator visa, how to get, visa sponsorship job, how to do self-sponsorship, and whatever it is that we know is relevant, right? Because we are very committed to ensuring that people don't, get lost in the track, or get lost, you know, basically, and to help them, achieve the real goal of enrolling for the bootcamp in the first place. We also have quarterly certification, free certification in areas that we know are in trend and relevant for people to have in the workplace. Like I said, we've had BI for everyone. We've had Oracle Primavera 6. We've had the artificial intelligence I spoke about earlier this year, and cybersecurity. And another best part, you also get your CV and LinkedIn done for you at no extra cost, because a lot of people do trainings, but they don't know how to put what they've learned on their CV. And the good thing is that with the work experience, you also gain in our bootcamp, you get a UK company listed on your CV as part of your work experience, which is an advantage because so many people lose out on opportunities when they get to interview and they say, oh, you don't have UK work experience. You've been really good, but we want someone that understands the environment, we want someone that understands our jurisdiction, you know. And not limited to that, the support you get is unending. So who can take this course? To be honest, the first answer is anyone at all that is exploring or that has an interest in the compliance space. Also, people that are bankers or finance professionals that want to move into the compliance space. Foreign trained lawyers. So if you're one of those who have trained as a lawyer, either in Nigeria, in India, or in any other part of the world, and you've come to the UK and you're finding it difficult to qualify because of the long process it takes or the costs, but you're looking for a career path that you can also be fulfilled while you consider either staying in that career path or still studying towards being a lawyer, this is the career path for you. In fact, our trainer for this course, who will be speaking to us shortly as well, is a dual qualified lawyer, qualified both in Nigeria and in the UK, and he still found himself back in compliance because compliance is a career path that actually is very rewarding. Also, CEOs and corporate executives that want to understand compliance, anyone seeking a career in KYC, AML, compliance, GDPR, and so on, and then risk managers. And just like I said, anyone at all. So what are the competencies you get in the RQI compliance bootcamp? You get comprehensive regulatory knowledge of the UK landscape as a whole, the finance landscape here, the legal landscape here. You also understand, learn KYC, which is know your customer, AML, which is anti-money laundering, CFT, which is combating financial terrorism, right? And then data protection and privacy, GDPR, financial sanctions, and then risk assessment and mitigation. So what are the roles you'll be able to apply to after a boot camp? AML analyst, compliance analyst, risk analyst, KYC analyst, compliance officer, data protection officer, data protection analyst, regulatory affairs specialist, compliance risk manager, and so on and so forth. However, it's not limited to this. What we found that works for most people is that they're coming with a background, right? And they are adding compliance to this. Adding these two together, we should actually define the kind of roles that you would attract or that you should be applying for after the bootcamp. So, eligibility for visa sponsorship. We all know that talking about visa sponsorship now, there's a lot of brouhaha out there, there's a lot of information. And the good thing is that compliance still remains part of those career paths that are still listed, right, under the UK eligible occupation list. The compliance field still remains an RQF level 6 career path. And you can see the codes on the screen. You can still see AML officer, internal auditor, risk analyst, fraud investigator, right? And co-regulatory affairs manager, compliance business analyst, and so on. So I hope that gives, so we also have the money laundering reporting officer, MLRO, still eligible for visa sponsorship, compliance focused finance manager. So this might be for someone who, I'm an accountant, I want to add finance, I want to add compliance to it. You can apply for finance related roles where in fact, do you know what? Somebody reached out to me, the person is a marketing professional. The person said, oh, do you have anybody among your students that is marketing? Because these marketing roles I applied for in the last couple of weeks, they've been asking for compliance background. So now imagine, and that's what I tell people too, when you do all this upskilling and training, it's not just as, look, don't be so limited to looking at it as the only role you can apply for. Look at, how you combine it. So people are looking for marketers with compliance background, business analysts with compliance background, and they recognize it enough to even put it on the list of the eligible jobs that can give you sponsorship. So you can see compliance focused finance manager. So you're a finance manager, but you're not doing debit and credit. You're not doing budgeting, and you're doing compliance. Same with compliance, financial compliance analyst, another code again for that. GRC and audit assurance associates, regulatory reporting analysts, and so on. And so for that to tell you, right, that the career path is not going anywhere. Success stories as well. We have thousands of success stories from this compliance space. In fact, when it comes to compliance, so in this UK, RKY careers, alongside, like, I've not seen any other company that offers what we offer for the compliance space, which is why it's always good to follow, like, your vision and everything. I remember when we wanted to start this training about 3 years ago, it was even our first bootcamp. Compliance bootcamp was the first ever bootcamp we organized in RKY. And we've continued to update our curriculum. Right now, there's AI in our curriculum. There's a lot that was not even there when we started. What am I trying to say? I knew what I wanted, most of the training companies I know, or not even, I didn't know any company that was doing KYC, but I knew individuals that were doing it aside also. I can train you, I'm a KYC analyst, I can help you become KYC analyst. There are so many people like that. But there was no organization that would do it, give you certification, give you experience, give you all of this. And there was even no one else as well doing KYC plus something else. And I remember when I started, when we are designing the curriculum, I was so adamant that it's not only KYC. I don't want to prepare people to only become KYC analysts. I want them to become, I want to combine about 5 other options of what they can be. So KYC analyst, AML analyst, compliance analysts, right, such that people are able to explore a wide range of opportunities when they are done with the training. And guess what? These people too, they were paying £700 to individuals to just train them to become KYC. And it's always one weekend. You just sit down one weekend with somebody that is a KYC analyst, they will collect £500 for you, and that's it. No certification, no CV, no LinkedIn, nothing. Just I'll tell you what I do every day. And that was what I met in this compliance space. Because like I said to you guys earlier, the vision about doing training in RKY is not just it was born out of trying to really, really solve the problem people were facing. Because I remember then I was talking to thousands of foreign trained lawyers or people who just wanted to get into the compliance space, but they didn't know how to. And there was nowhere they could do this. Right. So these are more success stories that we've also had from the boot camp. We've had people get jobs as risk and compliance officer, business compliance analyst, compliance case workers, transaction monitoring investigator, KYC quality control analyst, and so much more. So at this point, enough of my own testimonies and me talking. I don't know if Esther is here. Esther is an alumni. She's passed through our boot camp. She's currently an AML conflicts analyst in a law firm. She enrolled in the 16.0, and she's a Nigerian trained lawyer, transitioned into compliance. My decision to join the UK Compliance Bootcamp was due to my passion for assisting firms navigating complex regulations. It's been an amazing experience so far. So I don't know if Esther is here to share her experience with us very quickly.
Hi everyone, nice to meet you all. My name is Esther.
Hi, Esther.
Yeah,
First of all, thanks for accepting to speak, in this session. It's always a great one when I see, the alumni members come back, to give back, to share their experience is always, a very great one. I always appreciate that as well. So, Esther, please tell us, how was
yeah,
your
thank you.
experience with RQY and where are you right now?
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, as she mentioned, I'm a Nigerian trained lawyer, and I've been practicing law for over 5 years now, and I moved to the UK not so long ago, like 3 years ago. During my master's program, I was going into research for alternatives to law rules, something similar, but not so law because to get a law job in this country, you have to be qualified in this country as well. Like it's a struggle. Although there are rules for foreign trained lawyers as well, but it's like 1 in 100. So it's a real struggle. So I started researching on alternatives to law rules, but something similar to legal as well. And then I came across compliance, did my research on that, and I started taking free online courses and I was applying to jobs based on what I thought I've learned on those free courses, and not one single soul replied to my application actually. So I continued my research, and then I found out about some boot camps online. I came across RKY careers and some others as well. But then I went through every one of them's profile, and there was just something stand out about RKY careers, and I was like, okay, I think I'll go with this boot camp. Looks like that's where my mind is, and I'm grateful to God I trusted my gut actually, because that's like the best decision I made last year. So I started the boot camp first, and during the classes, the tutor was very good. The classes were very educative, and that was when I discovered that actually the free online courses I took were just basics. They really didn't talk about compliance. Their trainings did not really entail much about what compliance really is all about, and the classes actually talked about like all everything about compliance. The tutor was very good. Lumi was very good. There were practical classes as well, and then he went into detail everything about compliance, everything you need to know, what you actually won't get from free online courses. And I'm grateful that I made that decision. And just about 1 month after completing the boot camp, I got a role with the help of God as well. I got a role as an AML conflict analyst in a law firm. It was just 1 month after I completed my boot camp, and actually most of the trainings in the boot camp were part of what helped me during the interviews, because I actually went through different stages of interview. It was a lot, but then all the trainings I had during the boot camp really helped, because most of the questions they were asking was just in relation to what we were taught in those classes. And so yeah, I'm now working as an AML conflict analyst in a law firm. Thanks to RQA Careers and thanks to God.
Super
Thank you very much.
congratulations. Super congratulations on that, I'm super, super happy for you, and I'm glad you trusted your guts as well. So, guys, and how has it been on the job as well? How has it been?
Actually, it's been interesting because, yeah, when I was about to start the role, because that's actually my first time of working as an AML conflict analyst, I was, I was bothered, kind of like, I was thinking, oh, will I be able to figure this out? So I went through my slides from the boot camp again, and those were like a background that actually set me into the role. So basically, what I do is the verifications of clients, and then conduct on due diligence on clients, making sure the firm is in compliance with anti-money laundering regulations and SRE regulations. So it's been interesting actually. It's actually a very interesting role. And I'm actually like I'm so glad I decided to transition into it. It was actually a very interesting role. And yes. So yeah,
Be-
that's that.
Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you so much for that. Thanks for sharing as well. I appreciate you making out the time. Do anyone have questions? Guys, are you inspired? Do you have any questions for Esther before, I'm sure
And
she's
also, sorry, I forgot to mention. Yeah, so another thing that I figured was not really getting me the jobs was my CV, because RKY actually helped with my CV, like on the CV optimization. It took my CV from 10 to 100. Because I saw my CV when they sent it to me, I was like, oh my God, this is my CV. I never knew I was actually missing out that much. But then, yeah, the CV optimization really helps as well. Yeah.
beautiful. And I like the fact that you highlighted that, because a lot of people, they take training, and that's where all those YouTube and all those other ones would never get you where boot camps will get you, because we might call it boot camps,
Yeah.
and by the way, don't quote boot camps, because some people, different people use that word, I abuse that word as well, without actually putting together what we have put together. But the RKY Careers Bootcamp, the way we have designed it, we have looked at where it might look like that people, so why are they not getting to that end game? Okay, is it the CV? Because some people train, but they won't do CV for you. A lot of people, that imposter syndrome, when you finish training, people struggle with putting it down on paper, what they've now learned. Putting it down on paper, and they will not be like, well, can I write it this way? But guess what? We are experts. Before we even started training, we had over 500 success stories of people that we have done CV for. We were like the expert on CV writing before ChatGPT even came in this UK market. Especially for immigrants, we knew exactly what they are coming from, and we knew exactly how to put it, exactly what they've done to put it for the people in this side of the world to accept it and give you that job or give you that interviews. And apart from that, we also do your LinkedIn for you. We'd also do all of that for you. So thanks for highlighting the importance of that. Because guess what? If you don't even get interviews, how can you showcase what's in the brain?
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
might be learning, but guess what? You need an opportunity. You need to sit in front of a panel. And if you don't get that opportunity, you might never have, your chance to showcase what you have, talk less of getting a job. So thanks for highlighting that part. Also, did you attend the weekly interview prep after the bootcamp? Did it help? Or had we started that at the time you did your training? Because I know it was a new invention as well for us. We're always looking for, okay, how else when we said, okay, is the interview people were struggling with later, okay, let's add interview prep to it. we didn't even increase the prices. Let's start adding all of these things. We didn't increase the prices of the courses. Maybe after this quote that we're advertising is the time for us to now increase the prices. But Esther, do you want to share any
Yeah.
on that?
Yes, yes, that actually helped as well because it's the interview preparation classes actually helped because people come around and then share ideas. People share questions they were being asked during the interview, and I joined a few actually because like I said, it was like a month after completing the course. I actually got this married. I would say actually at the interview like 2 weeks after completion. So after I got the role, I just stopped attending the classes. But it actually did help
Okay.
because from then I actually learned some questions, did my findings on the answers, and then some of the questions were actually answered as well. So yeah, it's actually helped.
Beautiful. By the way, 1 month after she got her job, so she didn't even bother like to attend anymore. But guess what? If you ask for people that are still in job market, they still we won't say your money has expired. There's still the opportunity. Even if you get on the job and you get stuck, those sessions are also there for you to come in. For instance, tomorrow, if Esther feels like, let me just go and check on them. The sessions are still there. She still has access to
Yeah.
attend, to share a story, to like get any clarity on anything at all. The support is every step of the way. Super congratulations on that once again. Isaac, you have a question. Do you want to share in the
Thank
chat
you.
box or, we would prefer if you share in the chat box and I can read it out, to the audience before she leaves.
Okay,
Isaac, you have, okay,
I
quickly.
would be a little slow. Thank you very much, Esther, and thank you, Ruki, for the opportunity. Thanks for sharing. It's quite an amazing and inspiring journey and story you just shared. My question would be that during your whole application process, if you don't mind me asking, how long was it that you had on your CV as your UK experience as a either a KYC analyst or a compliance officer as to regarding the application for the job?
Let me
Yeah.
come in there. Let me come in quickly. So I don't know if you want to answer for the RKY experience or general. But let me answer generally before she now tells you our own specific, because our specific might not apply to everybody's general. So generally, when we do your CV for you, right, we try to show that your CV has a career progression towards your new role. So it's not just about the experience we're adding to it. We would add most recent experience to it, which would be the current year of you enrolling in the bootcamp. However, we won't stop there. Your previous roles as well, even if your job titles can't be changed because of reference purposes, there's a way we would narrate. Just like I said, remember what I said at the beginning of the session, no two compliance officers do exactly the same thing. So what it means is that even if your job title says in your previous role as project support officer, project officer, you can be a project officer in the compliance space. Did we see that? Did we also see that? What's it called? Skilled worker stuff. Compliance-based finance manager, meaning that I can be a finance manager. And what will be on my JD or my CV will be different from another finance manager. So we try to, like, within the limits we can, make your CV to show career progression towards the role you're trying to apply for, which will give you another advantage beyond just the UK experience you are getting in the bootcamp. So that's general. But I don't know what experience she had on us, but I'll let her also answer a question.
Yeah. Thank you. Yes. So there was the AML. Sorry, what was the question again? He said if I had
He said, how many years of
UK.
compliance experience did you have to get the job?
Yeah, it was just a year actually, 1 year of compliance experience. But actually, the way the CV was actually edited, optimized, it's in a way that all my legal rules actually have a way it's pointed out that I have a background in compliance as well. So the AML on experience itself was 1 year, but there's a way that RKY took to my CV that it actually shows that even though it's just 1 year in AML, my previous experience in law actually contributed to compliance as well, if that makes sense.
That's exactly what I explained as well. So
Yeah.
regardless, so exactly, let me just give a simple example. Say, for instance, if you have compliance customer service as the only experience on your CV and you learn either project management or compliance or whatever course you learn with us, there's a way we can make that customer service relate more to the role you choose. Either it's project management or it's compliance. So there's always a customer service in each of those industries. What did they do there that relates more, to I don't know if that answers your question, Isaac, but that's me sharing our special way of doing our CVs to you. But the thing is, if you come on board and enroll in the compliance bootcamp, you probably will understand, how we do it better. But when it comes to doing your CV for your new role, leave that to us. So Isaac, did I answer your question?
Yes, please. Thank you.
Beautiful. Ogene Tejiro has a question. When is the next compliance bootcamp? We're getting there very shortly. I have a quick question, please. Ejiro, do you want to answer your question?
Yes.
Okay.
I had a quick question. Do you help with job I don't know. Sorry, I think I went off the call for a little bit. But do you help with job applications as well and interview prep?
Right. So thanks for that. So interview prep is part of what you get in the bootcamp. You get at the end of the class, the last class, and you also get, which is what Esther shared, you also get post bootcamp bi-weekly drop-in sessions where you can still come in if you have an interview coming up, and you can also reach out on the group to get support either from the trainer if they're available. But we have scheduled sessions even after on ending where you can continue to get support for interviews. Do we help with job applications? In as much as we would love to help with job applications after the bootcamp, till you get a job, right, as well, right? We are unable to do that because that is a lot of demand. I mean, probably the amount we have to charge for that, if you want to look at the cost of hours and time we have to put into that, will be a lot. However, what we have is Apply Body Limited, which is another company that help people apply to jobs. Even that, it can't be unending. It has to be you book the number of jobs you want, for it to be applied for you. So if you still want to stay within our ecosystem to get support for job applications, you will, but it's not related to the bootcamp. Neither is related to your experience in the bootcamp. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. Do we get a link to the other affiliate company that helps with that after the
Yes, we
bootcamp?
do. We talked about it at the beginning. It's apply
Oh,
body
sorry about that. I missed it.
Yeah, it's applybody.co on Instagram or applybody.co.uk on the website. But I think I'm not sure if it's at the end of this session, but yeah. So what we do on that, what Apply Body does is to apply to jobs, for people based on their preferences, and there are other packages also on there. Okay, so I don't think we have any other question for Esther. Okay, so Esther, thank you so much for sharing your experience. Congratulations on getting the job, and I wish you the best. Is what's it called? Forward ever from there, right? I want you to come back to share, how you get your AML manager role, down to how you get, whatever your next goal is. By the way, like
Amen.
just before the LWB events, somebody reached out, one of our compliance students as well, reached out and said, "Oh, I have an interview at this so company, and there's somebody I saw that works in that. I think the link to the Apply Body has been dropped, so you can click on it. There's somebody that I saw that work in that company, and the person trained with RKY Careers, and I have an interview for this same role. Can you link me up to this guy?" Which is why we have a very strong alumni community. Right? Can you link me up with this person? I'm like, okay, what's the name of this person? Okay, send me their LinkedIn. The person said they saw a family that the person trained with RQI Careers. And I'm like, okay. And then I reached out to this lady, I even found out on LinkedIn, but I saw I wasn't connected. We are connected. The person said he had connected, but maybe the person was not on LinkedIn at the moment. And then I just said, okay, what's the name of this person? And luckily for me, the first set of students we had in RKY, I still remember their names and surnames. And even anyone that relates to me one-to-one, for any reason, I remember their names. And then I went to this lady's Instagram. Oh, I know her social media handle. And then I just dialed that we had not talked in like a year. In fact, I used to be the one managing the RQI Careers Instagram at the early stages. Now I have other people that join me. So sometimes it's me, sometimes it's others. But I remember this lady's and I dialed her number. Luckily, she picked. And guess what she said? She was like, "Oh, she's happy to help. Oh, she's so," and the other person was even on the call as well. She's happy to help. Oh, and that she was even just about to share another success story of her getting a managerial role. That ever since she got this first role and after the boot camp, after she stayed in this role, the managerial roles have been chasing her left and right. And that is what I said about the fact that even if you get your first role as an analyst, there's a career path. You don't have to stay there. you can always move on. And this is someone that passed through our bootcamp as well. And this lady, I remember her story quite vividly. I think she was pregnant. She even joined, she deferred. She had a baby. She deferred, So like, okay, maybe when my baby is old and maybe when my baby is about a few months. And she did this training. And now she's being considered for managerial roles in the financial crime and anti-money laundering compliance industry. So let's not sit on the fence. If we have an opportunity to invest in ourselves, in our careers, it would always pay off. If you're coming from the healthcare industry, you can move to any career path of your choice, because we know that healthcare industry you're coming from is not you're not defined by it. Most of us had career paths. I'm sure that half of people that are in healthcare, not even have 90% of people in healthcare in the UK currently, they didn't do this healthcare from back home. That your experience from back home is what we would use alongside the one we'll give you as well, to position you for the career path. So there are ways around it. We will not encourage you to say put carer on your CV when you're trying to use it to apply for project manager or compliance role. You probably need to take out some experiences completely if it does not align with your career path, and you can explain it away. All of this is how to navigate explaining why you remove the role and not remove a role. We support you with all of this because we have so many of our students that have navigated it that way, and they've gotten their desired role. They've moved from care sponsorship to another sponsorship, and they were still able to explain it, and it didn't stop them from moving on. So guess what? Let's take away limitations and barriers. That's what I personally stand for, because I am here today. I'm someone who also moved to the UK at some point, and I'm running, I'm doing what a lot of people would think are impossible. I'm being nominated by I'm being nominated as, best entrepreneur for British business. I'm being nominated here and there. I'm being recognized by, even places that you would think that ordinarily, before you can get it, you have to have lived in the UK for 20 years. You have to have done this and done that. But guess what? The only limit that is holding people back is the limit of self, right? So talking about self, now it's time to take an action about everything we've been hearing today. So we've told you all the things you will get from the bootcamp. Based on all of this, the value of this bootcamp ordinarily should be nothing less than £2,000. All our counterparts that are offering trainings like this, of this quality, with this level of support, none of them is charging less than £1,000. However, because you're on this call, and because RKY Careers is also committed to supporting, people like myself, people like yourself, we are offering it at a discount for £599. And the best part is that you can split it into installments. Klarna, ClearPay, PayPal, Pay Later. You can pay with all of this. You can also pay, if you are in Nigeria joining from Lagos, send a message to the numbers on the screen, and we would respond to you with the rates for those in Nigeria. So you don't have any reason. £599 could be what would save you from the current state of change you desire. Right. So to secure your slot as we are speaking right now, to enjoy these discounts, click on the link on the group right now. Who is on the call from RKY? Can you drop the link for people to secure their slots? So secure your slots. You can, if you're paying with Klarna, you get 3 installments. If you're paying with ClearPay, you get 4 installments. If you're paying with PayPal in 3, you get 3 installments. Pay Later offers more flexible installments, but guess what? You can also pay in full. You can just go straight, use the Stripe option to pay in full if you have the full payments, to avoid all of that. So I would advise you to secure your slots. When is the next start date? 26th of July. Is the next start date. So secure your slot today, because we have just a few slots left. And you've heard the stories, you've heard everything we said. And just like we said, in RKY, everything we do is plus whatever it is that is trending in the industry. So it's UK Compliance Bootcamp plus AI. You get a free module talking about how you can leverage AI, even in the compliance space, to stand out in your career. You also get quarterly bonus certification courses. Imagine, just because you pay all those POV on Instagram, POV, you pay the £599 to do a boot camp, you got a job, and you're still getting free certifications after that. So there's nothing as investments worthy as that. And you get all the support you need. So I want to believe that people have clicked the link to secure their slots. Please take a picture of this screen as well. I'm giving time so that we can secure our slots before we move on. So do we still have questions? I think there are questions. Are we paying for the apply body? So the apply body is a standalone company, standalone everything. It's not related. So applying to jobs for you is not part of what we listed on the bootcamp pecs. What we've listed as part of the bootcamp pecs is training, work experience, access to the LMS, expert CV and LinkedIn optimization. By the way, I recently joined a call where somebody was also talking about, I will help you do your CV, I will help you do your LinkedIn, I will give you coaching. And the price for just all of these things I've said is £1,000. And guess what? People are paying for things like that. So when you get opportunities like this, that's put training, work experience, UK reference, CV and LinkedIn optimization, access to LMS, which is like you having access to Coursera. So you have option to watch. And also, of course, I expected to join live. Getting certification, globally recognized certification, post bootcamp support, being a part of a family for just £599, I think is a steal. And you don't want to miss that opportunity, right? So very quickly, I also want to talk about our Excel training. This is open to anyone and everyone. This is also one of our many trainings, but this is a training and not a bootcamp, and is a must-have. It's just £50 or 50,000 naira, regardless of the career path you're exploring. Getting advanced Excel and PowerPoint skills is very important. Would have loved to add this as part of the trainings automatically, but it's got different trainers, different schedules, different everything. But it's a must-have, different certifications, and all, which is why it's at a steal for £50. When I did Excel and PowerPoint training, I paid nothing less than £150 for it. But today you are getting it at just £50 to become an expert in Excel and an expert in PowerPoint. The classes hold 2 to 4 p.m., while compliance is 4 to 6. So you can easily combine it if you're also considering Excel. You can combine it with any course. You can come back for it later. There's always another course. But guess what? A lot of people have skill sets that can pay them £60,000, £70,000. But because they are not good in Excel and PowerPoint, they miss on that opportunity. So let me put it in another way. You lose out on the 60K offer just because of a £50 investment. You don't want that to happen to you. So even if you're not ready to transition, if you're a carer at the moment, everybody needs Excel and PowerPoint. We don't even know, based on the journey of life. I know people that they were carers, and because there's a skill they have that they showed their, managers and everything, they will pick them from the care role, put them in another role, and sponsor them for that role within the same care industry. So it's always about what do you bring to the table in this current market. What can you do to help me? Everybody needs help. Companies need help. That's why they employ people. If you can show a company that my skill sets can help you move from this to this, that's how employment happens. All right. So Isaac, do you want to ask a question before we move on to the next step? So we're going to listen to the trainer for this course. We're going to meet the trainer for the course for
Hi, Ricky.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry. So my question is a general question. I was supposed to ask it earlier, but I wasn't sure it was the right time to ask when Esther finished talking. So firstly, I've done I've been following you, I've been following your page for a while and all that. And just like Esther stated earlier on that, oh, she actually did contact several people or businesses who offer similar or same um um services, but she was convinced to work with RKYs, and hence she signed up. So now, having done that, I also realized that with some of the courses that you are offering, um, compliance tends to be the one with the shortest duration, which is about 5 weeks, and whilst others were like more and all of that. So my question would be that, yeah, I know you have your curriculum and all of that, but are is am I or are we certain that the 5 weeks of training will be very, what's the word now? The 5 weeks of training will be very effective, and because I would just think that, okay, maybe some of us that don't have that background and all of that, if 5 weeks would be enough or for us to transition and all of that. So that would be my question. I'm just like a little, that's just the only part that I'm
Yeah,
just
I
a
actually
little
do love the
scared with
question.
that.
You know what? because it was coming right when somebody else asked that what's the time and duration. And I know that happens a lot. But guess what? To answer that question, remember when I said that when we started this, there might be people doing it now, companies and co. When we started this, what I had in the market then, that was about 3-4 years ago, was one person would say, I'm a KYC analyst, so I'll train you one weekend, Saturday and Sunday, one weekend, you pay me £600, you pay me £500, and that you only learn KYC. So when we moved from there to offering it, 5 weeks of classes, wider curriculum. But that is one. Another answer to that question is that, each of these roles, they have different requirements for the job itself. The compliance role is not projects based as such, where you need to complete. It's not like project based where you need to complete a project from start to finish. The reason why those other courses are longer is because the work experience parts, what they need to do, the work itself is different because their work have processes. You have to start from, spend about the work experience phase in our project management, for instance, is 2 months. The training itself ends in 6 weeks. The work experience phase is 2 months because they need to work with different stakeholders to build. So what you will do on the job as a project manager is not what you will do on the job as a compliance professional. So what you will do on the job as a compliance professional is what is covered in the compliance training. I don't know if that makes sense. The data analysis, for instance, is just 10 weeks too. It's 10 to 12 weeks. Compliance is the shortest because the role is not as technical as the other roles where you're learning a tool or learning, different aspects. And don't forget the other courses, they're like, you learn project management, 3 weeks. Learn business analyst, 3 weeks. Those are like 2 technical roles together. And then now do work experience. That's why those ones are longer. But for the compliance space, it is what is required will teach you. We won't say want to keep you in class for 10 weeks when we know that's what you need. Some people are even teaching it within a week. I mean, within a weekend. Although what they are teaching is not what is less than what you get with us. And don't forget that we say we are with you every step of the way. Apart from the 5 weeks of classes, you even still get, to be with us every 2 weeks. We have evening sessions, although that one is tailored to you getting the job. And this is a tested and trusted model and approach. A lot of people have gotten jobs in just this 5. In fact, we started as just 4 weeks. The 5th week we added was to have role play, interview prep, and everything when we added it. So I don't know if that makes sense. So it's the scope of the role and what you will do on the job that determines and how long it takes for you to learn it. It's not like a technical role where you need to spend time to be looking at Jira or ClickUp or, or learning Excel, Power BI or Tableau and all of that. So it's what is required that you learn, right? So I don't know if
Right.
that answers your question.
Yeah, you did answer my question, but you mentioned something which I need to be clear on. When you spoke about the 2 weeks the 2 weeks meeting that comes up and all of that. I was already typing that on the chat box before you mentioned that, so I just stopped to just quickly add it. So my question would be that is there like a community where I know you already mentioned of community earlier, but this is like a community that is just designed, or a specific community that targets the alumni of this maybe cohort or other cohorts that just meets and maybe go on with just having similar conversations or working on projects, or just having a community that is focused on that's what's it called, that is focused on compliance whilst we all start securing roles. So just whilst we are in the market trying to secure roles, is there a community that we can always be falling back to, where we get to come back each day or hear them speak? I mean, the experienced ones, or alumni, or people like industry people that are already in the industry, and having it just get them to speak or get them share experience and all of that, and we are able to pick 1 or 2 things from there, aside the whole interview prep and all of that.
Right, thanks for that. So we do, the moment you secure your slot and you'll be added to a group. In the group, there are other people within your own cohorts there. When the cohort is over, you're added to like a community of all the compliance alumni so far, right? On the community, on the groups, we share jobs, we share these people. You'll be You are free to converse, talk about, you have an interview, people ask questions on the group. Oh, dear Lumi, we have this question. Oh, dear RKY, the recruiter is asking me, how do I answer this? Dear this, how do I answer that? So you don't even need to wait for the interview prep. You can always drop questions in the group, even if we are not the first to answer. People amongst yourself will answer. Some people still come back to the group to share their success story. Oh, finally, I've gotten my job. Oh, and then everybody will answer, congratulate them, ask them, enter their DMs to ask questions. Okay, how did you go about it? Sometimes we bring the alumni members back as well to share their experience, just like Esther has also shared her experience now, right, with us. So yes, there is a community. Okay, does that answer the question? So may I know the percentage of students in compliance bootcamp land jobs? So unfortunately, we can't really say this is a percentage of students in compliance bootcamp because there are so many reasons why, there are so many motivations for people to join the bootcamp. Some are looking, some get jobs, in compliance. Like I said, some are joining, they want to add it to what they are bringing to the table. So their job might not carry compliance, but because they have the UK work experience and compliance on their CV, they might be able to get their first, it could even be governance related role. So don't look at this training as a standalone of complete transition. You are adding it to what you are bringing to the table, which will now form part of your stronger advantage, or your industry advantage, where you will now, be able to. So I can't say this is the one that got compliance role, but in terms of job offers, we have over 2,000 success stories of people who have passed through our bootcamp and landed their jobs. We all know how competitive the job market is at the moment. And what we can do from our end is, first of all, provide top-notch training, which we do, provide practical work experience, and support every step of the way. While we are also doing research of what's new and what's new. So people, the mistake a lot of people would make is not to do anything at all and say, oh, people are not getting jobs. As much as people have not been getting jobs since a long time ago. But guess what? People are still getting jobs. If you go to our Instagram page, you see us share success stories after success stories. What am I trying to say? There might be 1,000 people not get job. But do you want to say because of those 1,000 people not getting job? I'm not saying in RKY, generally, because out of those 1,000 people not getting job, we have people that will do training fresh and they will get job immediately. Do you want to stay on the we are not getting job, or you want to take an action that could lead, to you getting a job? Right. This is not to say we don't have a high percentage, but I can't quote percentages, to be honest, of people that get job after compliance training. But there are so many people getting jobs. The job market is getting difficult and difficult, especially for we immigrants. Let me give an example, right? In some of our other services, let me use the apply body, for instance. There were some people that we had, that we've been trying to applying to jobs for and everything. And, before, maybe for them, we'll get maybe 2 interviews and everything. And then we just got some random people whose name, Jon Snow. I don't know if you know what Jon Snow means, guys. Jon Snow and those kind of names. The same approach, we did their CV. You would not believe it that we got these people that had these names on their CV. We got them nothing less than 20 interviews out of the 50 jobs we applied for them. Some 50, some 7, I think some 100. And guess what? They even went ahead to get job offers. So this market, as it is a very volatile one at the moment. But guess what? We are not giving up. We just have to keep working. I hope some 1 or 2 people pick or understand what I've just explained, right? But if you don't understand it, because I can't say it more clearly than that, there's a lot of restrictions and all of that around, people like us at the moment. But guess what? People are still getting jobs. There are still people that will pay for your skills or invest in you or employ you for the skills you are bringing to the table and not look at your color, your race, or what you sound like. While there are many others that will. So many people lose job offers, not because they are not competent enough. Some companies will advertise roles that have already been taken internally, but they just need to still do the adverts. So when you are in the process of job application, you just need to play the long-term game in terms of not giving up. If you get a no from a job, you've had people that got a lot of no, got a no, were about to give up or even gave up for some weeks, and then they went back to it, applied to their first job, and they got the job that was even higher than they've ever gotten or applied to before. So I hope that answers your question. Is there an adjustment for someone that worked 4 to 6 p.m. twice in 5 Saturdays? The adjustments we have, or what we have that would help you, is our LMS, our learning management system, which is a platform where when classes are over, we upload it within 2 days, watch the video, when you watch the video, you can either ask questions on the group or you can ask, at the drop-in sessions on Thursday evenings. So I don't know if that answers your question. What's the cost for the course and how many installments is allowed? So the cost for the course is just £599. Klarna gives about 3 installments. ClearPay gives about 4 installments. PayPal in 3 installments. Pay Later gives a range of flexible installments. And if you want to pay in full, you can just pay directly to our account number on the screen. If you are in Nigeria as well, send a DM to the WhatsApp numbers on the screen and they would, and if you have any question as well, the link to the WhatsApp, can we drop the link to the WhatsApp number so that people can ask questions, please? There's always a link to our WhatsApp numbers that we drop in the chat box. Can we drop this link so that people can click on the link and chat you to get more information from you guys? Okay, so at this moment, we have a few more minutes left. We are going to welcome our trainer for the course, our facilitator in person of ALUNMI, popularly known as Lumi. I'm sure you saw some of the success stories carrying Lumi. So Lumi is a dual qualified solicitor and compliance professional with over 12 years of experience across, top firms like Credit Suisse, JP Morgan, BNP Paribas, and so many more. Lumi has a range of so many certifications, but it's going to be telling us today whether those certifications are what, got him those jobs or what we should prioritize. And is also a chartered governance professional, company secretary. I think that's another certification. His specialties or area of expertise are compliance, KYC, AML, MiFID, financial crime, fraud, transaction monitoring, business analysis, project management, among others. So Lumi, we're happy to have you. So briefly, just tell us, what to expect and, what the compliance bootcamp is all about.
Yeah, thanks, you. Thanks for the introduction, and it's great to be here with great minds. So at RKY, what we do is a bit different from what everybody else does. Our program, I think, is definitely going to be the best out there. You get your value for money and you get practical experience. And the truth about it is that you won't find anything like this anywhere else. As the CEO said, you have 12 months support. And that's after your 5 weeks of the foundational phase where you will have full support after the initial phase, meaning that the interview prep sessions, we have 2 Thursdays every month where we discuss how to get jobs and also if anybody has any questions about any of the courses and everything. So now I just want to talk about what the course is all about. And basically is a compliance course focusing on AML, KYC, sanctions, and GDPR, which covers a huge part of the compliance work in any organization. So I can tell you a story of how I started and how we all got here. So I jackpot a long time ago. And of course, the challenge I had was I was doing some of those rubbish jobs. My first job was I was a cleaner and I was cleaning in one of those shops and everything. And it was quite depressing for me. And at that point in time, I felt, I believe I can do better. Why, I should just find a way to get into banking or a law firm and everything. So I qualified as a solicitor in the UK. I did masters, I did everything. I still didn't get a very good job anyway. Then someone told me about compliance. I started reading compliance and I didn't give up. And then the opportunity came. Now, the difference between my story and what will be your success story is that I didn't have any support at all. I didn't go for any training anywhere. And I just read up and I was lucky. But now the competition is a bit more. And by the time you go for an interview, you'll be wondering, am I saying the right thing when I'm competing against thousands of people and all that? So for you to get a job in KYC, you need to understand the regulations. You need to understand GMLSG. You need to be able to know Companies House. Let's say you're working as a KYC analyst now, and they say you should onboard maybe Tesco or Barclays. You need to know where to get the information from. So where are the list of directors? Where are the documentation, memorandum of association, certificate of incorporation, list of shareholders, and all those things? That's what KYC is really all about. It's all about data gathering and a risk management model. So it's a regulatory task which we have to perform. If we don't, then we'll be sanctioned. Okay. And that's why it's a very interesting aspect, because we have a lot of companies that have been in trouble. And because of that, we have remediation projects. So one thing is for sure, there are a lot of KYC AML jobs out there. Now, in KYC, we have to identify the level of risk a customer poses to be able to perform KYC on that customer. So you need to understand all those things. You need to understand the websites to go for and all that. And then what we've added now is we've now added the other side of it, which is the investigative side, which is the AML side. So the transaction monitoring side, what we do is that we break down how you investigate people as well. And you also learn as a person, okay? That means you understand how criminals work and everything. It also protects you as well. So you will learn how to investigate clients in either law firms, banks, oil and gas companies, or any organization that has to comply with AML and KYC. So that's also part of this course as well. So you learn how to investigate, and we'll also teach you how to structure your suspicious activity reports that you will send to the NCA, to the police and all that. You have a good understanding of what the transaction monitoring red flags are, and all that. I will also teach you how to write good reviews and all that. Then we also have sanctions, which is also equally interesting. I'm sure you know what is happening in the world now with the Ukraine, Russian war and everything. Sanctions are changing. So we have to keep up to date with all that, or we get fined. I don't know if you guys remember, BNP Paribas was fined 8.9 billion. I think that was in 2016. So, those are the kind of things that you will learn. You learn how to evaluate and how to identify, how to mitigate sanction risk and everything, how to deal with various executive orders from OFAC, how to deal with OFSI orders, United Nations, and all the other bodies and everything. So you need to have a good background, a strong understanding to be able to review those cases. And it's a good thing that is part of this course as well. So KYC, AML, and sanctions are all interwoven, interlinked, and all that. Then, in addition to that, data is the new gold. So data privacy and everything is also important. So the CEO has asked us to add that to this course. So it's like an additional thing. So the data privacy and everything, you need to understand what are the laws and everything. And you also need to understand Article 5, which break down the rights of data subjects and everything. So the UK now has its own GDPR, which is just a bit different from the EU GDPR. Our course also covers the US GDPR, but just very briefly, just to show you the differences between all the systems and how they all interact and all that. So this course is meant to give you a breakdown of all those things. I think somebody asked about the duration of the course and everything. You do have 12 months support on all of this, okay? And I've been in the industry for more than 14 years. I've worked as a solicitor, and I've also worked in this compliance space and everything. So I believe I have more than enough knowledge. I've also worked as a business analyst in the AML space, team lead, QA lead, and all that. So I believe I'll be able to impact on you guys. I won't say it's an entirely easy course as well, but nothing is impossible. We've had people that have come in and been very successful. So why can't it be you? So I don't see any reason why anybody would struggle and all that. So we will give you 12 months support. I know a lot of people are trying to break into sponsorship and all that, and this is one of the ways which you can break into sponsorship. and also maybe upgrade your earnings. I think that would probably help your family or anybody around you and all that, and give you an insight into what you could do with yourself. Okay. Sometimes you might finish this AML course and decide, oh, I want to be a business analyst. Most people come in here, sometimes they forget that the skills they already have are also things that they can use. You also have to level up on those skills, and you also have to use what you have to get what you want as well. So someone that is coming from a law firm should have already performed KYC AML already. So this is a time for them to catch up on those skills and everything. And we also have a CV drafting team. We also have a LinkedIn team. So, the package is lovely at that price. You won't get it anywhere else. If you break it down into 12 months, if you break 600 into 12 months, that's about 50 quid a month. And you get to speak with experts. You get to, we have a project which we work on. You learn KYC, you learn AML, you learn sanctions, and you learn GDPR. I don't know. I think that's a perfect package. I also have unlimited access to myself. So if you want to talk to me, you just have to book a slot and then we'll discuss. Anytime you have your interview, you book your 30-minute slot twice a week before your interview and all that, and then we'll discuss and prepare you for that interview. So, and that has really worked, because we don't want to be like the other companies whereby you come for a 2-day training course and then you have nobody to call. Maybe you started your job and you are confused. You can still call RQI, call Lumi, and we'll discuss, oh, what's the issue here? You want to build this, you want to do that, you want to review this person, or you think this is suspicious and all that. Another thing we are trying to make sure that we impact on our students is to make sure that they have a change of mindset, whereby you're using Google and AI to find solutions. So we're trying to make you as independent as possible. Just have a change of mindset. There is a lot of work, but it's not impossible. The competition out there is a bit tight, so we have to do our best to compete and make sure that we impact on all our students and make sure that our students are the best out there. And I can assure you that our students are the best out there, because we've had people that have become MLROs in less than 6 months. We've had people that have become business analysts in less than 6 months. And somebody was talking about the percentage and everything. I know that's quite difficult to gauge, but we've had the highest percentage out of all the compliance people out there. The reason why is because we have a 12-month course. We are not just focusing on making money and all that. We are focusing on making sure that our students are the best out there, and our companies are going to be looking for our students and all that. And our students, it's not as if when they start work, they will be comfortable. They know KYC, they know the regulations and everything. Sometimes we sound like lawyers and all that, because by the time you start quoting FATF, which is the global body, we start quoting GMLSG, which is the UK regulation. Of course, you have an edge over the others. Okay, so people that are switching from law is a lot easier for them. It's also easy for anybody who has worked anywhere else. It's just easy. It's something that I break down. I'll break it down so that you understand. And we don't rush our courses. Our LMS, you have all the courses recorded and everything. And we have a beautiful project at the end of your study, okay, which you have to pass to get the certificate. So, and you have full support on that. So my job is to make sure you pass it as well. Whatever you need to pass it, we will do. If we need to do extra classes for you and all that, that's fine. So that's what we do, and that's how we can come in to help. The package is the best out there. We also have a discount today, I believe, if the CEO will confirm that. We do have a discount today if you join the course. It's limited. Our classes are not, we make sure that our classes are not too big so we can focus on everybody. So that's what we do, and hopefully we'll see you on the other side if you guys are, if you trust us to teach you on the KYC AML thing. We're also conscious that everybody wants to break into compliance as soon as possible. So that's what our focus is. Get you in there as soon as possible. As you see from our success stories and what Esther has already said as well, we are also there to make sure that whatever you need will be supported. If you want to do a course like ICA or ACAMS or anything, we will also advise you. These are some of the courses I've done. I've done the ICA. I'm currently doing the ACAMS anyway. But Yeah, so these are some of the things that will help you. Or this is because some of the American companies they prefer the ACAMS, and the European companies prefer the ICA. So there are so many secrets we'll share with you, how to apply for jobs. There are some jobs you need to know how to apply for. Your CV has to be solid for you to even get calls. How do you build rapport with recruiters and all that? And those are some of the things we'll be discussing over the next 12 months once you join us. Yeah, so I hope that helps to break down. Oh, somebody's asking about laptop to enroll. Yes,
Uh,
it will be
sorry, oh, sorry to cut you short. It's just that I'm not able to type my questions in the box. So if there's an opportunity to ask questions, please, I would like to ask because I'm not able to type my questions. I've tried many times, but no.
okay. Well, if the CEO permits, you can go ahead with your question. I should be able to deal with that on the spot. Go ahead with your question then. I
Yeah, go
think
ahead,
CEO is
Oh,
sir.
on
okay.
mute.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you. So
Welcome.
I wanted to ask, if someone does this compliance course, I know that sometimes when you're looking for a job, you may not really the jobs out there that you're applying for may not really be compliance. So now, if you have done compliance, is it still possible to somehow link it to project management? Let's say you are applying for jobs now and you are just, spreading your feathers everywhere. Not really everywhere, but things related to compliance. Can you like link it to project management as well? That one is my first question. Do you want me to ask all my
Do,
questions?
do you want me to answer that one first before we
Yes, yes, yes,
forget?
yes,
I don't
yes,
know.
yes, yes.
Okay, yeah. So as I said, you can be an AML project manager. You having an AML background as a project manager is a niche area. Just like if you have an AML data analyst, and if you could type in AML project manager, you see their salaries are like from some of the contractors like 600, 700, some are low, 300, 400 a day. So it just depends. If you have a niche area, okay, we don't really have a lot of people in those niche areas. So it's a good area having that combination. So like now, just imagine someone that is an AML data analyst. You'll be helping to build transaction monitoring models and also helping to tune those transaction monitoring models. So assuming you're an SQL professional, you're able to segregate data, understand it, and also mitigate. Okay, because what we are trying to do is to avoid false positives, all those alerts and everything, and also target the criminals themselves rather than just wasting time. So it's a good thing. Project management is very good. We offer that course as well if you want to join us to do that. And it's a very solid area as well. So you understanding AML will also help you to manage the project and everything, because sometimes you might even have to meet with regulators, assuming you have a section 166 where you have to meet with FCA regulators and all those kind of things. You'll be able to deal with it, interpret it, and understand and implement a new model for the company. That's it. Remediation is done. Yeah, so we always have project managers in AML. We always have naughty bankers and all that. So you see fines all over the place. So we always need remediation people. Okay. So it's a good area, and I like that question. Right. Do you want to ask the
Okay.
next question then?
Yes, thank you very much. My
You're
next
welcome.
question is so now someone is in the UK and um if 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 you plan to, for instance, use or start applying for jobs in compliance or project management or whatever course you've done, let's say in the next year, maybe late next
Yeah.
year, you know,
Yeah.
is it too early to take on this course, or would you advise the person waits for wait until next year to take the course? So what I'm saying, if for instance I take the course maybe July or the September cohort, and
Yeah.
will I still have enough knowledge to pull me through when I'm ready to start applying for jobs, maybe later next year? You know. So
Yeah. So yeah, I see what you're saying. So it depends on you, to be honest. But my own advice is the earlier you jump on the course, the better. Why? Because it's a 12-month course. So it's not like we're going to train you now and then we just abandon you like, the other companies. No. You can call me 24/7. So that's difference, You can call us, CEO, everybody, and we'll always help you. So if you start now, you will continue to be trained until the end of the 12-month period. Do you get what I'm saying? So it depends on
yeah,
you.
I get
Are
what you're
you
saying.
ready? Yeah, are you ready? Because there's a little bit of reading there. I won't lie to you. Just a little bit. I won't say a little bit. 30 minutes a day, 1 hour a day, depending. We've had some people that have been reading 3, 4 hours a day, especially those lawyers. So, you know, the truth is that nobody's going to come and save anybody. You have to be the one to say, look, I want to get my job now. I want to get this knowledge now. I want to plan for the next 6 months. I want to build my knowledge over the next 6 months and make sure that by the time I'm finished with the 6-month program I'm going into, I am solid. You understand? You get. So it's a continuous thing. Every month by month, you're
Yes.
embellishing the knowledge you have and you're getting better. And we have projects. Once you finish the project, you can also ask for more work because we're also going to we're also referencing your work experience as well. You get. So the more cases you work, the more projects you take and everything, the better for us. You get what I'm saying?
Yes, I get what you're saying. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Please, can I
Yeah.
just before you go, please, can I say something? So I've had a
Yeah.
question in the chat box. Thank you very much for this opportunity, and thanks to you guys for the great job you're doing. So I was just
Yeah.
asking that if I register today, what is the discount? Because I want to pay now, but I'm still seeing 5.99 because I want to pay in full. So is there a discount for me so that I just proceed and make the payment now
Right. So if you're paying in
for
full,
the
it's
boot
five.
camp, for the
Okay.
compliance?
Yeah. So paying in full is 5.99 as well, because even if you pay installments, we still get 5.99, and we get it instantly
Mm.
as well. So for us, it doesn't really make a difference because Klarna is the one that you will now get to pay
But
installmentally
I,
to
I
enter.
thought I thought you mentioned earlier that there was going to be discount for registering now. That if we secure a slot now, that there is
So it's
discount, or I didn't get
750.
you right.
The full price is 750.
Oh, okay. So the discount is 5.99. Okay.
Exactly. So either paying with Klarna or
Okay.
Yeah.
anyone, we get our money all together now.
Okay. And another thing, please, because I work in the evenings, I work from home, but my schedule is usually in the evening, and there are some Saturdays that I work. So what happened? Because for the first Saturday, I'm not going to be available, which is 26th of July, and the last Saturday, which is sometimes in August, I've checked, I'm not going to be available. So what happened on those days? Is there going to be a recorded section or maybe a meetup section or something that so that I won't miss out a lot?
Right.
Should
So
I
all our
take
Do
that?
you
classes
get
are
my?
recorded. All the classes
Okay.
are recorded and available on the LMS. So if you happen to miss any class, you have the opportunity to watch the recording. But what would encourage is that try to, as much as you can, do your part, which is the days you can attend class, attend. The days you miss class, be intentional. Watch the recording before the next class so that you're not taking the class back because you missed the class. But the recordings will be there within 48 hours of the class. I don't know if that makes sense. And you have access to that recording for up to 12 months. You heard Esther say as well when she shared that story that even when she got the job, she still had the LMS to go back to make clarification and to reinstall her confidence in what she has learned as well. So I don't know if that answers your question.
Yes, yes, yes. Thank you very much.
Beautiful. And again, beyond the class, you can even still leverage the bi-weekly sessions, to still continue to get support. The one that happened in the evening, once every 2 weeks, after the entire class is over. And access to that is unlimited. You can continue to join for as long as the sessions still exist. Okay?
Okay, okay. Thank you very much.
Uh,
Thank you. Yeah.
Sorry, guys. Thank you, Lumi. Thank you, Ruki, once again, for the opportunity. So a quick one. Firstly, I wanted to find out if there is a particular tool that we might be using during this 5 weeks training. And the reason why I'm asking is so that possibly we could, because apparently myself and my partner had already signed up for the boot camp already. We've signed up for a while, and I've apparently been chasing for this, and I heard that there were some issues with the emails and all of that, so I wasn't getting any feedback all through up until this moment. So I was asking if there was or there is a tool that we might be using during the training so we can get our devices all set up and showing readiness, and possibly if we can also prep ourselves, prep our minds, and maybe and around just getting familiar with the environments ahead of time. I think that will be very, very resourceful. And also, Ruki earlier stated that once you sign up, that you will be added to a group and all of that. But at the moment, we are yet to be added to that. So just calling your attention to that.
When did
Thank
you
you.
sign up?
Up to 2 weeks now.
Right. So the thing is that the groups are created about a week to go, because we don't want, if you paid much earlier, we don't want it just, because his group is going to be locked until the week of the class. So yeah. And I think last week we started a new cohort of about 6 other courses. So because of that, we prioritize those ones, but you will get your onboarding mails and all of that. The link to the mail, the group, we are not the one that would add you to the group. We'll send you the links, to click on, and then you add yourself to the group. But you'll get the onboarding mail this week unfailingly. But I think the class still starts at 6, so you get onboarding mail, closer to the dates, which is probably this week we are coming into, right? Does that answer your question? What's the other question? Because I think you asked 2 in 1.
Yeah. If there were tools that.
What was
Yeah, I
the
can
other
take that one.
Okay.
I think he's asking about the tools we'll be using for the
Oh, yeah,
course.
yeah.
So the tools you'll be using for the course are already embedded in different websites. So you don't need to pay for any of those tools. Once the course starts, the sanction screening software is free, so that'll be shared, as we progress as well. Once full payment and all that, all the courses, all those ones, they are free. So all the courses are free for the KYC AML sanctions. So you'll be able to work on your project and learn and practice and everything using all those tools. Yeah.
Lastly, please, when you mentioned about certification and that, I wanted to find out that if the certificates that will be issued are like professional certificates, or I mean like a general professional, I'm not sure if I'm using the right term, certificates, just like you having Oracle certification and all of those certification, or or a RKY professionally satisfied certificate, kind of like, I'm not sure if that question is clear enough, but that's just like, yeah, in between those.
Right. So the
Okay. So
certificate you get in the bootcamp is CPD UK accredited. CPD is a
yeah.
recognized, endorsing body. In fact, some companies, their employers pay for their courses, because CPD is a requirement. Even after you've gotten a job, there are like some hours of requirements you need to fulfill every year. So CPD UK, and we're also accredited by ACTD USA and listed on the UK government website as a training provider. All of this you would have on your certificates, So I don't know if that answers your question. Does that answer your question?
Yes, please, it does. Thank you.
All right.
So all our courses have been fully accredited and passed the standard. So yeah, if that helps you further.
Sorry, say that again.
So all our
I
courses
said we
are
have full.
accredited.
Full accreditation, yeah.
Okay, to take the last question, is there a specification of laptop to get? So I think there's no specification. It's not like the tool we are using here is not like the one that is maybe a kind of Excel, but I think you want to do your personal research, or maybe a laptop that will serve you beyond just this bootcamp. Across other things you might want to use a laptop for, to determine which one is the best for you. But there's no special requirements for this one. So anyone you get, so long as you can open Teams with it, join Teams with it, I think it's fine. Right, Lumi?
Oh, yes, yes.
Okay, would you advise? Okay, I think we have other questions coming through. This is related. This is unrelated. Is there a webinar for someone looking to transition into business analysis? And is there any bootcamp for that? So we have a bootcamp for business analysis, and we do have a tech summit for that. Although that started last week already, the business analysis one for this month, and then there will always be another one. But you can still join that one if you want to. And I don't know the WhatsApp numbers. I don't know if they can be shared again, or you can send us a DM on what's it called, on Instagram. We can send you the link to the recorded tech summits that happened for the last for the tech related, the PM, the BA, and all of that. And the good thing is that our BA comes with PM as well. So it's a 4 months training, 3 weeks of PM, 3 weeks of BA, and 2 months on work experience phase. Right, and classes go Saturday and Sunday 4 to 6 p.m. So yeah, with regards to the BA one, you can send the same price. Is the same price. You can send us a DM or click on the WhatsApp number dropped previously. Okay, so would you advise anyone who's successfully taking this course to proceed to get an ICA certification? Lumi.
Yeah, so thank you for that question, Ilesomi. That now depends. I would always recommend taking an ICA certification. That sometimes in the UK, they look at the practical experience you have as well over certification. But if you are looking at two candidates that have exactly the same thing, an added qualification would definitely put you above that other person. But if any one of them is not able to, do something with the computer, you can't work at a KYC case or an AML, you can't perform an AML investigation, and you have all these certifications, that person is useless to any organization, to me, because you need to be able to, to work a KYC case. You get. So you can quote all the laws and all the compliance policies and everything, but if you can't work a case, then that's a problem. So that's why we are focusing on the practicality of all these KYC, ML, sanctions, and GDPR. Okay, so we are breaking down what you need to do from day one. Okay, we just don't want to, we just don't want students that will start working and they get confused. So once you get to work, you start working your case. That's it. So yeah, that's it. If you want to do the ICA subscription, definitely, I'm a member, I'm a fellow of the ICA. I will support you doing that as well. Yeah, please join us in that area.
Okay, so with the ICA certificates in AML be a good start? I think this is the same question, or this is related to that question you just answered, right?
Yeah, it will be. And also there is the ACAMS as well. So the ACAMS is good as well.
All right. So that when you come on
about
board the bootcamp, you would learn about career progression following the bootcamp. But what we'd always recommend is that practical work experience is always better to start, and then you can define based on your first job or whatever. You can now know which area, because all of these certifications have what they are focused in, and some of them even require that you already have a bit of experience, because they are also very expensive. You don't want to go and spend money on the 7,000 certification when you are not even sure it's the one for you. So join the bootcamp. In the bootcamp, there's always a segment where we talk about certifications and explain, okay, what's his next steps, following the bootcamp. However, with experience alone, you can get a job. But with certifications alone, you're probably not likely to land the job. Right. So I think that's about it. Class is 5 weeks, starting on the 26th of August. So for the person ask, oh, sorry, not August, 26th of July. For the person asking about the August quote, we are likely not to, if we're going to have an August quote, it will be probably very end, because 26, 5 weeks plus 26th It's already like entering into the tail end of August. So, or early September. That's when the next cohort is likely to be. Anyways, I know that we might still have more questions. Send your questions directly to the WhatsApp numbers you have on the chat box, or send us a DM on RQI Careers Instagram, and we would respond to you. Or you can send us an email on support@rkycareers.com, or bookings@rkycareers.com. Okay, so guys, it's been, let me see what else I have on my screen. So these are companies where our students have landed jobs. We have students in Bank of Scotland, HSBC, and so on and so forth. Also, for those who are also considering business coaching or starting a business in the UK, either to do alongside their 9 to 5, or something, we offer a business coaching program. The first cohort of that is starting on the 2nd of August, and you don't want to miss it. I'll personally be working with 10 founders who really are serious about starting a business. So this might not be for you, but it might be for somebody someone who is struggling to start or scale their business in the UK. You want them to come and learn from someone who have not just, started just one business, but successfully running 5 businesses in the UK. You definitely want to send them our way. The business coaching program, like I said, is starting on the 2nd of August. We also have a podcast that you can register to. Payments are instrumental payments are acceptable. And for those that asked about the Apply Body services, here is the Apply Body social media. You can follow it as well to learn more about how to engage our services. Also, as you are joining this bootcamp, there's also an opportunity for you to earn from it. So not just join, bring someone alongside, and also join our affiliate program where you can refer someone and earn. You earn 10% of whatsoever the person paid for every referral you make. So imagine just, referring your friends and family. This has always happened. We always get lots of referrals because our service and trainings are exceptional. But imagine now giving people opportunities to also earn from it. That is outstanding. So upcoming events, the UK Compliance Bootcamp starts on the 26th. Same with the Excel. And PMBA 30th of August. For the person that asked, I said it, that is going to be end of August. Data 30th of August. Digital marketing 30th of August. Tech Summit, where we provide information about what you get in all these trainings, not the compliance, but the rest that started in August, 9th of August. Data Insights Day, where our students come to showcase what they've done, projects they've been working on in the Data Analysis Bootcamp, 26th of July, and the Product Demo Day, 19th of July, where our students in the projects and business analysis and Scrum and product management space come to showcase the work experience they gain, the products they build in the work experience phase. Because at RKY Careers, where possible, we also, anything we say, we give you work experience, but we'll make sure we also show the world. We are not hiding it. If we say we'll give you work experience, apart where possible, because in the compliance space it might not be possible because of GDPR and confidentiality. But in the other fields possible, our students actually have the opportunity to present their products, their websites, or whatever they did to the whole world to see, so that they can see what they've been, the experience they've been gaining in the bootcamp. So I think this has brought us to the end of the session. Thank you so much, each and every one of you who joined. I hope it was insightful. I look forward to seeing you in the next session. If you have secured your slots, for this bootcamp, drop, a message so that, we can take it up from there. Thank you so much to everyone who joined. Have a great weekend, and I look forward to really seeing you in class.